about that. I had my screen smaller and it captured it that way, so that's why I was confused why it looked that way. But now I know. Okay, so I'm gonna do some Julyfy challenges today, just for fun, and work on some other stuff as well. Like I got some emotes I'm working on. See? Oops. See? Although I made them too small, so now I'm fixing that. But yeah, got a couple things I'm doing. So this is us. Oops. Why do I always... just leave that one untouched. Okay. Whoops. Well, I was working on this earlier. That's a picture of my comic. So we can do that. Okay, let's work on it. Let's get some pages. It's the oh, nope, it's not. Sorry about that. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Actually, now I do need this. That's okay. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, sorry. Trying to just filter out a little bit of the air conditioner. So yeah, I just gotta open up the page now for my prompts. So today is the 13th, so that's hero slash villain. Does that mean a hero as a villain, or does that mean... Huh. So I guess I could do, yeah. Okay. I guess it's either one. Okay. Fair enough. So I can do... Oops. So we just do another drawing of June. She's the main character of the comic. Let's find a good pose for her. Something epic. Being heroic. And then maybe oh, that'd be kind of cool. What if I did June looking evil and good? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I'd find some. This one's cool. Oops. Ah. Of course. Now if I have a good picture, it's gonna fight me the whole time. What? I have... That's weird. I think my I don't know why it does that. Because it was on a eraser. Not a big deal. So let's just get this. Oh. Yeah. I'll fix the proportions once I get this pose down a little better. Come on. There we go. Yeah, like it'd be kind of cool if I do something like where she gets trapped by her own music for a second and starts playing something that she doesn't realize it's what it's doing to her. She thinks it's just she just likes how powerful it makes her feel in the moment because she doesn't being the one who being a kind of support kind of magic. She wants to feel more strength. And maybe this is the moment where she taps into something. Becomes villainous for a second. I don't have any other outfits for her designed yet, so I'll just put her in the same clothes. Plus, it's more about what she's playing versus what she looks like that can make her good or evil. That's kind of the point. So sometimes that looks cool when you do that, but in this case, since I don't have anything written because this is just more like something fun for an art challenge and not an actual official moment in the comic, I think it's better just to leave it. Do, 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 do. That makes more sense. resting right on her thigh. So fix this arm a little bit more so it's a little closer in. Sorry, just kind of concentrating. Yeah, gonna move over. I guess I gotta move myself over a little bit because I forgot that this is all the way over here now. Clean up some of this line. So far it's coming along pretty good. I guess gotta clean up some of these little bits of anatomy here and there, but come on, guys. Do you have to be so loud upstairs? Oh well. Sorry if that's coming through the speakers. I mean, probably not because of the stupid air conditioner being so loud, but what can I do? If I don't have it on, I'll start getting goofy because of not being able to think. So it's one or the other kind of thing. Nah, that'd be kind of a cool idea, but nah. Maybe more of this. Oh, this is kind of in context makes no sense to anyone but me right now because I haven't gotten this far in the story. Okay, actually that'd be kind of something cool I didn't even think about. She does run into this spirit, forest spirit that chases her around in the forest and tries to just use her as a plaything, kind of like just keeps throwing obstacles in her way, and she manages to just trick to best it at its own games. But it would be kind of cool if, since one of the ways it tricks it's tracking her is it hides behind trees and whatnot, it'd be cool if it actually attached itself to her guitar and she didn't even realize. So that would be kind of a cool thing like this, where it's like sometimes it just changes her music into being something else, more violent. Sorry, I'm being kind of shaky today. And the pens are... No, that's me. I was going to be like, and the pens being not very cooperative, but the pens being great, honestly. And I apologize to those who saw me last week. I think I was just kind of stressed out, and I took it out on the stream, and that wasn't right. I think it was just that I thought I was so happy when it worked well. When I was so happy when when the pen was behaving well, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, at the very end, it started to just like fight me nonstop, and wouldn't make a straight line if my life depended on it. So I was just kind of getting upset about that, but still not worth stressing out, especially when it was just a small stream, and I knew it was going to be because it was 4th of July weekend. So I just don't want anyone thinking I was upset because of the fact that there wasn't very many viewers. Oh, hello! Thanks for dropping in. I'm doing Julyfy challenges, so I'm going to use my comic characters. So I'm doing this one of the main character, June. She's a bard, and I have her it's hero / villain. So I'm taking that as like I'm sure it means draw a hero or a villain character, but I'm gonna make it so a hero does something villainous. So in this case, she's gonna be casting a spell that she doesn't realize how dark and evil it is, and since villains are always cooler and have access to stronger things, she's going to be standing on top of an amp while she's doing it, because I think that would be a cool way for her to do something really powerful and not realize the repercussions of it. Yeah, and like I was saying, this is like some kind of weird forest spirit that's messing with her. Like the devil on her shoulder kind of thing. But for its own amusement, it doesn't even want to... If anything, it wants to protect her more than anything because she's fun to have around. Because from the minute she meets her, she realizes that she's not scared of things that normal humans are scared of, like mystical beasts and whatnot. So, mainly because of her mother, she was raised to love them pretty much. So, Nyber just giggling behind her because she's so happy with what's going on. So she's gonna keep her hair in there. It looks really cool behind her. She's got her like cubey hair. Whoa! Hello! Wow, raid! Hey, thank you! This is so exciting! Oh my gosh, thank you. This is... I don't know how... Double raid. Hello! So exciting. I feel so... I feel so popular. How was your stream? Both of you. Guess, wow. Oh, this is exciting. I was gonna say like my first raid, but now it's like my first raids. So, oh, nice. Yeah, I'm just working on some Julyfy art. So, oh, nice. Yeah, I'm doing just some Julyfy, like those monthly art challenges. I'm just doing that for fun because I feel like I'm kind of late for art fight this year. Although maybe I don't know. Maybe I've heard some people still are starting late, so I might consider that. Maybe this on Monday I might do something. But I always do these monthly art challenges anyway, so I thought I would do it. And I'm using my a comic I'm working on. Right? For sure. Yeah, this is her. She's the comic's called Raising the Bard, and she's a young musician that wants to use her talent to help people by using magic to heal people and make them feel better. So, and she's on a quest with her father to save her mother from this supernatural calamity. So, there's going to be like this dimensional rift, and she has to get out in time. The mother has to get out in time, so they're racing to save her. And I have a couple of the pages here too. I've got a couple pages I've been working on. Like, let's quickly open that up. Oops, got my reference in the way. Our pages. Bing! Here we go. Here's the first page. I don't have the dialogue in this one, but... Right? Yeah. Yeah, and then I was going to draw her, I think I'm probably going to put her, think about putting our father over here and doing a version of him too as in a more evil, like a violent version of him. Because he's like this ex-military guy that's a really big dude. And plus he's just fun to draw. He's just this mountain of muscle, and he's kind of built like... Drawing him makes me think of like drawing a Bruce Timm kind of character, because he's got that like huge chest and just... But my favorite part of him has to be like drawing his mustache. He's got this like... Plus he's got cool long hair. Kind of makes me think of like I don't know if anyone's ever seen the like Sword in the Stone, the Disney version, but like the guy that was raising Wart, who is the overweight guy, his uncle, but what would happen if he looked like if he was ripped? So like he's. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I kind of want to go watch that again. Remember the squirrel that kept hitting on Wart? Yeah, Wart when he turned into a squirrel. I thought that, or no, the one that was hitting on Merlin was the funniest. He's like, "You, madam, please stop." This flanged mace, which is a really big mace. Right? I think another inspiration was if anyone's ever seen Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, a lot of the characters in that have those like really big mustaches. Like especially the guy who is in the dub is voiced by Patrick Stewart, the Blade Master, which is kind of what this guy was inspired by a lot actually, because he's trained in a whole bunch. His magical abilities are that he summons weapons and armor. Like he could just like he's like a walking armory. Like you don't need an inventory. He can as long as he knows the spell to summon it. It's just like boink there. So. Sure, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, just enjoy your dinner. Enjoy the company. I need to... Let's see if I can find something. I have a... character sheets. Oh, nothing there. Yeah, I'll show off some of the character sheets too while you're lurking. Let's see. Is this one of them? Oh yeah, this is another guy that I just was working on. I'll be doing some more work on him tonight. It's the mother's. This is her brother. So like Gail's the mother, and this is her brother. And he's this kind of like antisocial, kind of just necromancer character who's kind of hiding out right now because of things that he's done in his past. Oh, no problem. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate you both dropping by, and thanks for the lurk. Let's see if I can find some more art. So like here's Gail. She's this she does thanks so much. She's a biologist who's trying to research ways to like help these animals who have been changed by either coming to our world or been changed by like the areas that are high in magic. Like some animals from our world get mutated into other things, so she wants to just make sure that they are living a safe and normal existence and not upsetting the ecosystem too much. And in some ways, she's using it as research to try and reintroduce animals to the environment that are, in their time, are starting to disappear. because these mutations are stronger, obviously. So she's like, there's a chance to save him, she will. And then there's the other side of her, which is the villain, who calls, well, it's a big file, calls himself Moira. He's this evil elf that, or he thinks he's elf. He's messed with his genetics so much that he's like a whole bunch of different things, but he loves experimenting and playing around, and he sees Earth as a fun playground to drop certain creatures in. And then you have, let's see if I have more. Whoops. Oh, here's here's some more pictures of Richard. I did these a few weeks ago. So, yeah. Pose is kind of. Actually, you can still be like that because she's elevated. So. Yeah. I'm so grateful that everyone who dropped by. That was such a fun surprise. Yeah, if anyone likes to talk about fantasy or games, or video games, I'm always up for that too. So if anyone in chat, like, what has a game they want to talk about or something, or a movie or something, like especially animation. Like, I love animation. Surprisingly, even though I'm working on a comic, I'm woefully like. I haven't read very many lately. A bit out of the loop on those. But if you have one that you like to talk about, because one I might get back into is a web comic called Laxadaisy, because of the oops, man, this arm's looking rough. But I really like the animation for that. Oh, what inspired the comic? It was a drawing. That's the funniest thing. I was doing a story about where is he? No. Where's he go? Oh, I think I closed him. About Cole, yeah. Oh, right, because he's over here. Yeah, I was doing a story about him and another character, and it essentially came down to, like, it was just too much because I was trying to put in this huge, like, the world is at stake, and there's this invasion of these, like, this special species of elves that are like this evil sect, and I was just like, it felt like my Lord of the Rings story, and I was being mentored at the time by this artist, and he just listened to me try to explain it like I am now, and he's like, that sounds like a cool story, but it doesn't sound like it's done. It's like, oh, here's the other guy, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's like a geomancer and a necromancer that are like there's an invasion and everything, but on the side they're like they're forced to do community service. So like they're like trying to do this around that because they'll get in a lot of trouble if they don't show up and do what they're supposed to do. Like he's supposed to like repair the city with his earth manipulation because like he can repair buildings after people have like fights and stuff, like magical fights in the city, because when everyone can cast magic, you imagine it would be a bit chaotic. And I think there's even a comic in Marvel where there's a group of people that go around and fix all the buildings after the superheroes fight each other. I forget what it was called, but... And then the other character, the necromancer, is forced to become a teacher. So it's like a funny... Like, that side of it was actually... Could have been a comic in itself where it's kind of like... I don't know... What was that called? Betweeners. It was that one about the teenage kids going through school and just all the dumb things they do. And like it'd be really funny to have that, but from the teacher's point of view, which actually I think there's that too. It's probably there's been a couple of those, but yeah, it was. But then I got this idea, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a fantasy combined with a disaster movie? Like that would be kind of an exciting storyline, especially because like even though I said there is a physical villain, he's more like just an obstacle in the story. He's not actually the main issue. The main issue is if they don't get there in time, she could be like sucked away to the spirit to the fairy realm and be lost to them forever. So like it's really more about them fighting against time and against this like supernatural like calamity event that's gonna pull them apart when she already hasn't seen her mother very much anyway. So it's been really, it was on the hold for a little while, but I'm actually getting back into it now, especially because I draw a lot of it on stream. Thank you. Yeah, I've been having fun drawing it and sharing it with people while I work on the pages. Like, let me find it. I did a. I was gonna save this so I don't lose what I've been doing. What? Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. Fine. There. I think I had a page. Oh yeah, that was a fun one. This is like the first thing they fight is this giant golem breaks into their house, and like it's the whole point of it is just to show how strong Richard is, which is another reason why I wanted to make this a natural disaster kind of thing they're going up against, because if it was just a person, he'd probably just take them down. Like if it was just the dark elf, then he would just show up and beat the living daylights out of that guy. But since it's something like really bizarre, and then there's no way for him to fight that. If they get there, they might be pulled in too, for all he knows. If they don't get out. So, and I did this one page recently that was I'm really proud of. It still needs a little bit of work, but it's this page where he goes to this nearby diner to talk to someone who can get him in touch with that necromancer. And meanwhile, June's in the cafe, and she's starting to have an anxiety attack, and her magical abilities are getting a little out of control. So she's having and this one person just helps her out by pulling this negative energy off of her, and then just kind of says just warns her to just be careful with this. So I really like how I just need to put another layer of line art on top of this, because that's kind of, I've been told that's how I have a really speedy kind of drawing style where I want to jump to painting so quick because I come from a background of doing gouache paintings. So I want to just throw down color so quick in the drawing, but then I find out that something about a pose isn't right, so I have to go back and fix it. But I still like doing it. It's not like I'm going to stop just because I found out that that's what I do. I don't think what his arm's going to be doing. Maybe he's only. Oh yeah, he can be. I'll have him holding an even maybe a big axe or something. So I feel bad for not saying earlier when they were at the beginning of this, but what was did we say what the collab was about? Let's see. 'Cause I just saw. Yeah, I don't. Because I'm just curious what they were working, what was going on with in the other stream. Because I love watching other artists work too. It's always so inspiring seeing how people have so many different ideas. Especially when I see people who do things that I want to improve. Oh, that is so cool! I love randomizers. I was doing let me find it. I was doing I'm just bouncing around between this and my other art because it's so much fun to share. But I was doing one with D&D where I was using the character creator on the D&D webpage to just make my own. And here's one I came up with. It's I think they're called Tenku. They're crow people. They're raven people. So I did it in this style, and I'm a huge fan of Critical Role. So I put Ugato. What's that? Yeah, Ugatoa in the portal underneath underneath her. But Wonderland's something I've always been meaning to kind of jump to try out sometime. And collabs sound so much fun. I really gotta try. I gotta communicate and try and find when people are available, because I would love to draw with another artist. I used to do that when I was on when I drew on Instagram more often. Like I would do these drawing challenges. Like Julyfy was one that I would draw with this other artist. He's doing a comic too, D. Hosner. He's doing a sci-fi comic actually, so it's kind of funny. Like we went in just two different directions with him doing like a kind of more like a Buck Rogers kind of story, and I did this. And he's a fan of the mustache too. Give him a nice big Viking axe. Oh, you know what I can do? I know how to fix this. Let's go to a new layer, and I know how to make this effect I want. And yes, I did that all on one layer. God, I can't believe I drew so much on one layer. I'm usually like on layer 12 by now. Although I'm also usually in color by now, but I'm having so much fun drawing my two main characters that, like, I don't mind. Let's see, what was I looking for? Oh, I know. Wait, what? No. Oh, wait, no. Never mind. I was looking for a specific thing, and I'm trying to find it right now. Not layer comps. Oh, never mind. I'll do that later. Maybe it's over here. I always forget I have this here. My color mixer, which I'm covering with my slideshow. Right? It's so easy to just get like pulled into. Like I was just talking with I was listening to someone during their stream, and they were saying how like they got distracted while doing a specific part of a drawing, and like I'm like, yeah, that's me 100%. Like I always like will just like spend an entire I'll do one thing and then I'll forget everything else I was supposed to be doing in the drawing, and I have to like go back and like be like, okay, brain, what were we really doing when we started this drawing? So let's get into color now. Wait, maybe I should finish this foot. Here I am getting too excited. But another thing I'm gonna do, since he's here, is this. I'm gonna shrink this down a little bit because I don't like cutting legs off. If I can avoid it. I don't mind cutting off her guitar, but it's not cutting off Richard's legs. Or at least I'm going to show a little bit more of them so you can kind of a better hint that they're there. I don't mind if they're slightly cut off, but oops, whoa, big boot. Come on. Oops. Sometimes my pen does this where it gets angry because there we go. Sometimes when it leaves the screen and comes back, I get these really thick lines. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but I don't. I've also been warned that it might be a sign that the pen's nearing the end of its life. So I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case, but it does skip a little bit sometimes. But and honestly, between the screen having bad spots and that, I'm part of me almost hopes it's the pen, because at least then I can just get a new pen and the problem be solved, versus having to avoid specific spots on the screen, which would be really annoying. Especially because I saved up a lot for this Cintiq, and be annoying if I had to. Well, I'm not getting it repaired. It's gonna last till it lasts. I don't. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, yeah, it's too much to even think about getting another one. Like, they're just so much. To the point where I always, if people ask, I always just say, if you want a Cintiq, I'd say that Wacom 1 is pretty good. It's not too, oops, it's not too expensive versus the, but honestly, I had a Huion for a while, and I liked it. It was a pretty good, and I see a lot of people on Twitch that use Huion or XP, and I'm so impressed with how far those have come, because those used to be really much more limited, but now they can do like HD, pretty much as good as Cintiqs do, which is great because that means that Cintiqs have to lower their prices. That's all I ever wanted, was for Cintiq to have a good competition so that they would work harder. Yeah. Maybe I'm starting to summon some armor too. One pauldron here. He's using the X on that. I'm a huge fan of fantasy in general. Like a huge fantasy, and then later on anime came in, and like I think the biggest influence, and I don't know, I was curious how other people ran into this, but with Studio Ghibli, the first time I saw them was actually in a trailer on Sci-Fi Channel, and I saw footage from Princess Mononoke, and my jaw just dropped to the floor when I saw the elk going through the forest, and I'm just like, this is possibly the most gorgeous animation I've seen. And I had already seen like Little Mermaid and all that by then, but like I saw that and I'm just like, whoa. It's like I thought Disney was the only one that even came close to this stuff, and then I saw that and I was just like, saw that it was fantasy, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta see this. So I actually did get to see that movie. It was my first Ghibli film, and I saw it in the theater, in some of the most uncomfortable chairs I've ever sat in. But it was worth it. I'll get some reference to fix that arm. I know it's a little bit off, but that's okay. Because the main point was I did get reference for her because this pose is tricky. her doing like a Dark Phoenix kind of thing where she's gonna have maybe like music like sound waves emanating off of her. As like energy. Oh, cool. Yeah, right. That is definitely in my top 5. It's so hard to rank those films because they all bring such different feels, and because like one of my favorites still has to be I mean that's probably if not number 1, it's so close to being tied with number 1, which for me I think turned into what was it, Castle in the Sky, because it's just such a fun adventure story, and I love the two main characters. It's a fun play back and forth between the young boy and the young girl, and like in this adventure, and they both help each other out, and it's just a wholesome, fun kind of film. And there's pirates in it, and I can't remember the name of the. They got a really good voice actor for the woman who is the queen, the pirate queen. She's so funny. And one of the miners was also an inspiration for this character for his dad, because he does this. There's a hilarious moment in that where he is showing off to the henchman of the pirate queen, and he the henchman guy gets really buff and flexes out his muscles, and then the miner guy does it and breaks his shirt, and his wife just goes, "I'm not mending that." And he's just like, "Oh." And it was just a hilarious moment that you wouldn't see, and that I've always wanted to see in anime. That it's just like, yeah, what does happen after they break their clothes? It's like, you gotta imagine their tailor gets kind of annoyed after a while. Yeah, and another thing with this story is the daughter, June, she was a bit younger when I first drew it, because she was just like a little kid, and I was gonna kind of make it like a little bit like I had been living with my sister at the time, and like watching my niece grow up, and it was gonna be kind of like a story about her. But then I thought, like, but now she's older, so it could still kind of be partially that, but it's like it feels like this character could do more, and if she's a little older and the stakes are higher and she has more emotional intelligence at this stage, and so like it affects, like the magic and everything side of things will affect her differently. I also love drawing her guitar. It's pretty cool. So I'm gonna color it now, which is really fun. Let's see if I did this right. Yay, I did it right. Some of these have a lot of lines in them though, so I'll have to do the this way I can clean it up too a little bit by just drawing on top of it. And then maybe you know what, I'll throw it underneath. That's easier that way. That way I can always erase. But and then lately I was worried for a little bit when he announced that he was retiring for the 5th time. But then and that studio popped up that did like the girl who leapt through time and what was that? Oh my gosh, I just saw it recently. The one about the mother who raised the two wolves. It's just escaped me. But anyway, like that studio did those movies were just so fantastic that I really have hope for the future of Japanese animated features, because like there's these studios that are popping up that are just so fantastic. Plus, it's cool that we're finally starting to get some of their some of the anime from over there that makes it to feature film is being brought over here as well, which is pretty cool. Because I always felt kind of like it was a shame that some of that stuff had to be watched like secondhand. Because you lose a little bit when you go to streaming, as we found out throughout the last few years. Let's see, what else can I do? And also that studio that did, this might be the same one, but the one that did a Silent Voice. That movie was really good. Definitely one made me cry, but it still was really good. But I'm having so much fun coming up with ideas for this character, the woodland spirit. Especially like what I did with her hair here, with this like one curl that goes up really high. I'm liking this hairstyle. Normally it just went all the way back, but I'm putting this one hair that goes whoop, kind of makes it look kind of cool and stylish. And try to play around with it and see what I can come up with. Give her some elf ears. There. And then she's got... Do I have... I don't have her open. So I'm going to have to do this from memory. Woohoo! I heard that I am really happy to hear that Pixar's doing better now, because I heard that Inside Out 2 was actually really good, which is great news, because I know in the past I have said like I'm not a big fan of like some of the things I'm seeing them do lately, but really I just want to root for them because I grew up with them. Like I love their movies and I want them to succeed because I like seeing artists do new things with stories, and Pixar was like king of stories for a while, so I want to see them do good. I was just worried that when I saw that they were doing another sequel that they were going to just turn into the sequel factory, but it seems like maybe they might be doing some original stuff after this. I thought I saw something about they want to do some of their... I thought I saw they were doing something new. It's too bad that that Jack and the Beanstalk story was canceled. I can't remember. I think that was Pixar that was working on that one. And Sony Animation's really exciting with what they're doing, like with Spider-Man. Like I want to see them do that with more things. Like I think that studio said like went to Warner Brothers and tried to do a Batman Beyond movie, and I would love to see a Batman Beyond in that art style. That would be so exciting. Just like, especially since the voice actor who played Terry McGinnis is still out. He's still alive. Obviously, he was pretty young when he did that. So, I would love to see him come back and get to do that. And then maybe like I don't know who would play old Bruce, but like possibly one of the guys who's been Batman in one of the movies, maybe. Like I don't know about Christian Bale, but maybe like I mean he is older now. He might be able to impersonate that, but maybe like I'm blanking on his name right now. The guy who played Batman in the second Batman movie. Like he might be good. Whoops, I filled in something I wasn't supposed to. That's okay though. Just erase it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hair's not usually this color because I have to fix that. Where's... Did I open her... Oops. Open her character sheet, which is... somewhere... I'm just going to find what it's called, and then I'll open it in the... Or actually, you know what I can do is... I don't know why I never do this, but I have this... I have Pure Ref opened right now, and I'm not using it for what it's supposed to be used for, which is to do to use for your reference, which would for this would be all the characters. So, come on, brain, wake up. Let's see. Do 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 do. Oh, yeah, while I'm looking, I recently did this for my dad for Father's Day. It's a drawing he really liked that I did the color picker challenge, and these are all bits of these are all from animated shows and movies that influence my art style, or my storytelling in general. So, I'm so happy with how it came out. Drawing Mabel was really fun too, and drawing Kelvin from in Hobbs was like, I had to put them in there because like I grew up reading those comics. Let's see. Where did you go? Oh no. This is why it's always good to like keep everything organized, because I started to do that and then everything went pear-shaped. Let's see if I can find it. I mean, here's one. I'll use this. Yeah. This will do. I'll just use that. Oops. Okay. Do. Oh, it's right. I had it open. Oh Oh my gosh. Where's my brain? It was already in this window. Okay. Huh. I guess I can't open it that way anyway, so I'm glad I did this. Because, like, yeah, it's more of a green, so I'm glad I went in here and I can fix this. Dude. Dude. Yeah, I see her hair is a bit brighter, and she's got a highlight in it that she put into as like a way of like just so that she can remember, as a way of remembering her mom, kind of like it's like a way to honor her and show that she show her love for her mother. Plus, she just thought it looked nice. Let's see. Where wasn't there? Oh. In fact, I'll do that right now since I got. Well, I don't have the right color for that though. So, where did? Let's get this colored in. Oh, it's actually brighter. Wow! So actually I was probably better with what I had. So let's keep it like that, and then I'll just make this the highlights. Because I think actually it was more like this. With, I had a special brush for this. No, not that. Oh, here it is. Here's one of them anyway. This one's being passed today. I don't know if I like. Maybe it just doesn't have enough paint. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's too long. I'll bring that back to here instead, because her hair kind of a bit long on one side, and it looks kind of weird. So, just make sure it's a little more even. Rein that back a little. Because it still gets the effect across that her hair is like doing some weird supernatural stuff, like floating like that. So boop, 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 boop. See if I kind of want to see what this texture looks like. Ooh, that's crazy. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, nah. Sometimes I like to play with like some of these brushes and see like if the effects would look good, but especially now that I'm working on the comic more, I've been avoiding these brushes a little bit because some of them save time, but a lot of them are just like they look okay. Oh wait, figured maybe this one will be good for this. Oh yeah, this one might be good for the hair. It's gonna make it smaller, but I'm just glad I found two characters I really love drawing both of them, because like when I started to draw Richard, I was worried that June would stop being fun to draw, but I honestly like her character design a lot. So like her color scheme is really cool, and she's just and like character-wise, she embodies a lot of like my artistic mindset a little bit. So like I that's what I wanted to put in from so that I could write her better. Because like I said, she does want to help people, but she's also like very insecure about her like skills as a musician, because she's lived in a small like isolated town, and she hasn't really been out in the big world. So kind of mirrors how I was like that a little bit with my art. With like, it took me a long time to get onto Instagram, even, which is funny because it was Mermaid is what finally pushed me to doing it on a weekly basis. So really, it just takes one thing to get yourself motivated, and then after that, it's just, for me, it was just understanding that it's not going to be an overnight thing, but just to find things you love drawing and just keep drawing more and more. And that's what's got me where I am with my skill, which still has a ways to go, but at least now I'm having more fun. Oops, I'm in the wrong thing. There we go. This is usually more how I draw, but I have seen some people use the selector, and I've been meaning to. I'm trying to start do that more often with my art, because I want to save time from like enjoying the comic. Because I'll just like select an area and then fill it, and then put a gradient on it and all that stuff, and I'm sure that in it you get really nice effects with that. I need to start doing that more. Oops. Why is this? Oh, because it's low opacity. I'm like, why am I getting not the full effect? I'm just curious if any of you played that, was it Zen? That Triple Z game? I forget what it's called. Zenless something zone, I think. I forget, but it looked good. I just haven't had time to play it. I really wanted to give it a shot, but I've just been busy with other things. So, but I've seen some VTubers playing it, and it looks cool. So I'm gonna make this is that too cliche? I don't care. Purple's cool. I was gonna be like, is it too cliche to do purple for evil? And I'm like, who cares? It's a cool color. That's why they use it for evil, because it looks cool. It really punches against things. making her the end of her staff of her guitar glow. And then I can add in one of my favorite effects brushes, if I can find it. Kirby Crackle, if I have, although it's buried in so many brushes. We'll see if I can find it. If I can't, I know of a couple other brushes that look like Kirby Crackle. But I'd rather use it if I can, because it does the best effect. Oh. No. Stone particle. All right, these are those. I tried to organize these a little bit, but I still have. And I do have favorites, but for some reason Kirby's not in here anymore. I think I accidentally deleted it. What's this one? Water stream? I forgot what this one looks like. Oh, it's a blur tool. Darn. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, I see what it does. It just kind of pushes nature. What's this? Whoa! It's splatter. Oh, I know what that meant. It means natural. I forgot. Lazy stippling. Sorry, I'm very close. And like I said, I can use one of these if I can't find it, but I'd really rather use it if I can. Because it's a very specific kind of look. The dot, it's like this dot effect. Because blurbs can do it too a little bit, but not really. That's more, that looks better for like scales and whatnot. Or Splatterfest? Oh, that's actually cool too, but that's not good for this. I forgot about that brush. See. I'm about to grab the next brush that looks anything like what I want. What is this? Oh, curious. Okay. Oh, I made that. Oh, no, I didn't. That's not mine. I made something like this, but mine was a little different. Just playing around with a couple different brushes. There's a specific... Well, you know what? I'll do some more coloring. And then after I do that, I'll worry about more of that. Maybe this would be good too, actually. I'll try this for now. Just this like emanating like particles around the crystal. Maybe some. Oops, those are the bad kind of. Those aren't the right kind of twinkles. Huh. Oops, that's not her color. Do I have this set to multiply? Yeah, I do. I'm like, why is it doing that? Do 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 do. What's her skin color? Let's see, just right here. There we go. Let's move this just over here so it's easier. There. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Make him the sing. Whoa! Ah, yeah. Thank you. No, you're totally fine. I appreciate the company. Even I've done it plenty of times myself that way. So. Part of me thinks that might be one of those games that just like I'm worried will just eat up so much time only because it looks really fun and I'm worried I would just put too much time into it. Like Skyrim. It's like one of those kind of games where I'm just like, well, there goes my life. I remember when I heard that they made an expansion for Fallout 4, I had to stop myself from replaying it because I'm like, I can't go back. I just don't have the time. I mean, maybe if I made it part of my stream or something, I could use that as an excuse, but otherwise, nah. Because I used to, and with Skyrim, I used to just love making fan art for that. Like I would make a character and then I would draw them and post that. And I think I even have one still on here. Let me see if I can find it really quick. That I just saw it while I was looking earlier, so I know it's here. Here it is. Wait, where'd it go? I just had it. I just saw it and then it disappeared. Do 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 do. Weird. It's one of those things where like your eye catches something and then it just vanishes. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, here it is. It's right when I said that. Yeah. It's two of my characters that I played as. I might go back and just clean this up and make it improve it with how much I've changed since back then. For back then, this is a pretty good drawing for back then. Very much how I used to draw, where it was very pastel-y, but I have gotten a lot better since then, so. Let's put color boots in. Yeah, that was part of her design I kept fighting with for a little while, but eventually I just talked myself into... She would wear, like, stylish, but she'd still want to wear boots that she could hike in, because she knows she's going a long distance, so... Because I had her in, like, skater kind of shoes first, but then I'm like, maybe she wears those for a certain... Because she could wear something like that when they're in the city or something, when they're in a city setting, but when she's out in the wilderness, she doesn't want to be wearing those. That doesn't sound like a very fun time. I don't like it. I gotta fix him. I'm just gonna erase this for now because it's bugging me. I'll show. I'll just say it's a placeholder because it's not up to par with other stuff I've drawn of him. Mainly because I didn't even use a reference for him for like the pose, so which was a mistake. Oops. Yeah, some of these pens take a lot of memory, so I'm trying to find one that doesn't. No, too big, too big. That doesn't eat up too much memory. Make it a little bit cleaner. I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to push him even further actually with his design. So, because he has a, well, that's big spoilers. I'm not going to show that. He does have like some darker armor that he doesn't like wearing that was from his past. That he has to conjure up at a certain point in the story that I haven't gotten to, but. Kind of like his version of like from Berserk, the Berserker armor from Berserk, where it's just like this super creepy, dark energy armor that's just looks like it has a life of its own. Although I kind of modeled it more after like so the armored knight from Soul Leveling kind of thing, where it's like just like a full plate mail armor. So. Which if you haven't read the manga for that, that was really good actually. Like, 'cause I watched a little of the show and I was just hooked, and then I went and checked out the digital comic, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing art. That's a little better. It was just bugging me. He looked a little like stiff to a degree. I mean, it's still a little, but I can clean it up, fix some of this, and I think it's because I made him a little more bulky than he normally is. Even so, I'm gonna reduce him down a little. Because the point of him is that he doesn't need to be like, he's strong, but he's also really smart. Like, he's got a background in military, and he's skilled in using magic and combat together. So. because he was essentially on this like task force. It's kind of like Black Ops now, where it's like he's kind of like Navy SEAL grade kind of a soldier. He was from a family that was raising like his grandfather started the tradition of just raising them all to be soldiers, and he's the one that ended it, because when he had his daughter, he's just like, enough's enough. And he was so happy when she took to like being creative, and he's been nothing but supportive. And he taught her like how to build like and be self-sufficient. Like she made that guitar. I mean, I saw that. I showed the comic earlier. She makes the first page of the comic is her making the guitar herself out of a tree stump. So, which I've seen a YouTube video of that. So I thought that'd be really cool to make it how she did it. I'm like, yeah, I thought that'd be pretty clever. Oops, am I the? I am. Okay, sorry. Oops, I forgot to draw that hand. Just forgot that was a hand. Maybe I'll make the... I mean, I know this is... no, I'll just make it gray instead of black. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, that worked out. I'm glad I drew that painted that on a different layer. So I'm going to do this. Change my mind. I'm going to keep that like that. Oops. Coat flapping and open there. Nah. Not that much. Maybe a little bit. Color her eyes. I always blue. Yeah, I always second guess myself. I'm like, did I make them blue? And it's like, yeah, of course I did. Oops. Whoa, whoa, wee. Zoom in more, zoom in. Whoa, look at how many lines I have to fix. Oh no. This is when you zoom into this level and you're just like, oh boy. Here's where the work starts. It's like, oh yeah. Let's color in some of this too. I think it's, yeah. Let's clean up some of this shit. Like, it's okay. It's part of the process. Sometimes I just flat out draw over this sketch stage anyway, but today I like the sketch so much that I'm just going to clean it up. It did come out pretty good, so. just draw on top of that. Oops, do that on here. Yeah, actually, I'm glad I had my dinner early because I always tell myself, oh, I'll just draw after stream, and then I look up at the time after I've done my stream, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forget that these go. I get lost in the time while I'm drawing, so good thing I didn't do that this time. I'm gonna turn off the air conditioner. It's getting cold in here. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's only 9. Okay. Good. Some more caffeine. That's a good blue. Yay. I usually try and avoid, for obvious reasons. I don't like to make eyes white until I get to the highlight stage. Especially since hers are going to probably be in shadow anyway. So, no real point. Give her a little bit of lengthen her eyelashes a little bit there. Not that much. I'm going to change these to be a little bit. Her nose. I need to. Oops. Need to fix her nose a little bit. It's a little smaller than that. Yeah. I like that shape, but it's just. There we go. That's nice. What the? Oh, right. I'm like, why can't I? It's because of this. There. Just wanted to make her cheek, like her cheeks kind of puffing up, going up a little bit so that it would show that it would reflect the smile. Like that, where it's like they're just starting to close. It kind of coy, like kind of knows what she's doing, but doesn't really understand the effects it will have on her. Because there's always a cost with magic. I like that kind of system. Like Brandon Sanderson did a really good job with that, and I haven't read it yet, but I heard that the Jade City, that author, is really good too. When it comes to like talking about like magic systems that aren't just straight up like it requires something else. Like in Mistborn, it's like a metal that you have to ingest, and in Jade City, it's like a drug. So, I'm not sure what it'd be in this. I think it's just more like in mine, since this is a more simple comic, like startup comic. It's more just that magic. Since mana is kind of an obscure thing, it also kind of impacts who you are. Maybe it has weight on who you are. So like it can change you into someone you don't recognize if you're not careful. Which I think actually is how it is in Dresden. So I think like if you're not careful in that world, like it can, which is why I think that was the reason why they had like why his life was in such shambles, if I remember correctly, because I only read the first book. It was really good, but I read it a while ago, and it seemed like everyone was really nervous about him because of the kind of magic he used to protect himself. Which I think is a bit unfair. It's like your uncle's trying to take you out. You're kind of in the right to defend yourself. But I think it's more that it doesn't matter because it's still dangerous magic. regardless of how it was intended to be used. Yeah, well, I was gonna go get some ingredients for dinner today, but then I realized that like we have a parade, so it wasn't. I didn't feel like leaving the house after I remembered that. I was like, yeah, that would be a pain to have to go through because I'd have to use like back roads, and there might be a lot of people out because of the parade. And, I'll just have some ravioli tonight and salad. Clean this up and soften it a little bit more. Oh, I got one of these key dials from I was talking earlier about Huion. I forgot to mention I got a key dial from them, and I've been loving it. I need to map a few more of the buttons, but it's so cool that they give you like stickers that come with it, and like you can like label them yourself and just make your own setup. It's pretty cool. Oops. Too much. That's good until I did that too far. Cool. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see how we're doing. See, I'll be right back. Just gonna do something. Sorry, just probably be good if I turn on some lights. There. I've been drawing so long it got dark in here. Doot, doot, doot. Okay. Oh yeah, it's okay. I was getting something to drink and stuff. Oh yeah, there was like a Webster Day I mean, what's that? There's a parade in my town, and it was like holding up the streets, so I couldn't get dinner. I would have gone to the activities, but I've just got too much work to do with my art right now, and it's kind of the same thing every year, so I'll just go next time. So, zoom out so that I'm not drawing. I don't like. I try to avoid drawing too often at that like close range, because then I get too detail specific and it doesn't look right. Yeah, well, sometimes I do walk. It's really close by, so I think it might be this whole weekend, so maybe I'll check it out tomorrow. Or there's like other things this weekend. Like there's like a fair and everything, and I'll have to go and check that out maybe if I can. Would like to do an art table at one of those. I'm meaning to look into that. So I used to do that more often, but I kind of just, with the comic and everything, I took a break from doing that to make some more content. But it was fun. I liked talking to the people near me when I would do have a booth. Do, do, do. Let's just make her collar black. Cool. I think her. I don't think I actually decided on a hair color for that character. And decided she's a ghost, or she's like in spirit form. So maybe I'll make her like I'm gonna go over her line work and change her into. You know what? I'll make her the color of the magic. So she'll just be She'll just be a purple outline. Cool. Yeah, those are fun. I've only had one experience that was not great, but it was only because it was the first year that the person running the convention had done a comic convention, and I hear like of course the third year, the year that I didn't do it, I heard that it got way better, because the first year I did it, it was a bit nut. It was crazy. Like I guess they didn't realize how different a comic convention is from a regular art fair, and they used to do that. So like she didn't know how to, and I understand. It is. So like it's just a shame they didn't do more research, because I ended up with a table that was just one of those, like, those tables that 4 people sit at, that's got like where the benches are attached to the table. So I was at some people tried to use it the long way, but I tried to use it like where it was just, well, I use it the long way actually, where you're at the far end of the table and they're at the other end, and the seats are in between you. But some people tried it the other way, and it was just as awkward because there's still the seats are still there. You can't get rid of them. So that was annoying. The next year though, they had tables there, so that was better. My only problem with that one though was that I had nice neighbors, but they were unintentionally stealing everyone's work around them. Like, because they would shout to people who were walking by my table, which I think they just didn't realize is kind of not a cool thing to do. You should wait for them to get near your table before you start doing your pitch, because it felt like, yeah. And their pitch was really strong too, because they were drawing character kittens as pop culture characters. So like, how do I compete with that? I'm like, I draw fantasy things. And it's like, there's just like, here's a cat that looks like Loki, and I'm like, well, I'm done. It's like, there's no fighting that. It's just like, anyone, I'll go get you coffee instead. Because they were nice. They were nice people. I liked them. But it's just kind of a shame that I mean, I was still new too, so that I'm not blaming them for my sales. I'm just saying that, like, it definitely were a strong pull though. It's okay. It's no big deal. Like I said, that they were really nice people, so I don't mind. If they had been rude, that would have made it bad. But they were such good neighbors otherwise. Like, and I had another person I was talking to there, and it was really, I was having loads of fun, so I didn't care. And it was a local convention too, so it cost me, like, I think the first time was like 50, and then the second time it went up to 90, which is still, in like Artist Alley terms, incredibly cheap. Yeah, there was. There was someone who stopped by and talked about my art, and I made them a little, like, little, like, cheap drawing of like, those little, like, tiny drawings of, and I did one of Broly from Dragon Ball Z for them, and they liked it. So, I liked the convention itself, especially the second time where I got to meet more people. Yeah. It was a good learning experience, I'd say. And I'd rather learn there than it, like, I can't imagine. I feel so bad for people that go where one of their first is San Diego Comic-Con, and they're learning there, because that's, even if you live nearby, that's still expensive. I would like to do Gen Con some year, though. That would be fun. So I hear that just sounds like a blast. Oops, am I losing? Yeah, I don't want to get rid of all that because I haven't. I'll give her some of it though. I guess I can just color. Oops. That's good. Yeah, it'd be fun to get to go to Gen Con and like go to a Critical Role panel and listen to them live in person. That'd be so cool. Yeah. I was yeah, there's this one podcast I listened to back a few years like several like quite a little while ago, called Webcomics Weekly, and they talked to a bunch of organizers, like especially they got to talk to the person that did Emerald City Comic Con, and that just sounded like so much work, and it was just like it's amazing that they were able to even get that going with what the stories I heard. Like they really had to like jump through a lot of hoops to get that up and running, and that they sound like that person sounds really interesting too. Like I forget who it was. It's been a while. Like I still listen to Brad and Dave, the two of the people that did Webcomics Weekly, but the rest of them, I've kind of gotten out of reading webcomics, unfortunately. I do want to get back into it, but let's see. I'm going to do this thing where I kind of see how this works. Yeah, this kind of looks cool. This is kind of what I wanted to do, where she's like a phantom kind of ghostly figure behind her. And give her kind of an aura too. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of funny that it just started off as like me looking at the words for hero/villain, and I'm like, what do I do for this? And then I'm like, oh wait, I can just do these two characters. Really, it was just going to be June, but then when all of you showed up, you inspired me to draw both of them. Because it doesn't take much to make me draw these characters. Like especially getting to draw him, it's always fun. Oh my gosh, his eyes need to be fixed. I just saw it. Like looking at it this close, I was like, oh no, his eyes are going in different directions. Ah. That's what happens when you draw really quick. This nose isn't that broken. It's more like this. I'm gonna change where they're looking too, because I think that's what happened. I started to draw them looking one way, and then I changed halfway through, and that's why they kind of like dirt. I got bonked on the head. I gotta tell you though, drawing this mace is like so much work every time. I keep telling myself I need to make a 3D asset for it, because this is one of those things where like that's really helped me understand why certain animation now uses 3D so much, or uses 3D for objects and for vehicles. Because drawing this is like always an experience. It's fun to draw, but it's just like the fact that it's like it's essentially shaped like this. It's got these metal plates on the side that are shaped like that. So doing that consistently, going all... 2 is hard. Let alone doing this. Plus I have to draw them at angles. Makes it kind of tricky. So yeah. Yeah, and I think that's kind of why now I understand why in the Justice League cartoons they made Hawkgirl have a mace that's basically a sphere with spikes, and even that must be like, that has to be a 3D object, because animating that would be such a pain. Bonk. I do love it. But yeah, they are. But also really cool kind of weapons, because they're not... I've only seen them here and there in like movies and in shows. To the point where that's what made the Hawkgirl stand out in Justice League, is that she used a mace. I mean, and she has wings, so yeah, and had an awesome voice actor. So someone who could stand out against Kevin Conroy is will always impress me, because he's amazing. Was amazing. Sad that he's gone, but not forgotten. Usually they are. I mean, like the most traditional version of them is just like most times knights would just have this, like almost like a billy club, but it's just like this is just, I believe, a more ornate, and I think this also came out due to the complexity of it. I imagine this is probably later in that era of close combat, like near the end, because it feels like a weapon that like takes special kind of smithing to do, which I don't think they would have had earlier on. Kind of like with full plate mail is much later than most people realize. Kind of gonna fix this line work. It's kind of bent a little bit here. I think that may be another reason why it looked a little stiff, is that it was not. Yeah, I've been trying to think of different ways to do Oh, okay. Sorry. In the UK. Really? That is so cool. Thanks for the fact. That's awesome. I didn't know that. And that makes, yeah, that would make sense, because like I think I seen like it was I think the one time I saw him, a flange mace in person. Did I see? No, that was armor. Never mind. But I saw armor that was special, and it was awarded to a lord over his fiefdom. So that makes sense. Because when I was very young, I went to Castle Blarney in Ireland. And I have not been back yet. I'd love to go back though. Sometime. Nice. Great reference. I saw someone make a Lego version of that song. Of that song. It was pretty funny. On YouTube, I forgot that's pretty old now, but it was a while ago. I also saw that movie one time in, I think it was in high school, and I was the only one laughing. It was so sad. I didn't care though. Like, I don't know if everyone just didn't get it or if they just weren't in the mood to laugh, but I'm just like, okay, guys, this is funny stuff though. Like, you try to look cool or whatever. I'm gonna laugh at the funny, the funny actors. It doesn't matter where he grips it. African or European? What? No, I don't know that. Ah! Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the majority of those movies. It's been. I've even seen some of I saw the what was that? There was a. They had this thing where like a commemorative like where they all got together. There's this thing where they all got together and like they had they supposedly had the ashes of one of the members and they drop it on the floor and start vacuuming it up. It was so funny. It was just I think they were on a talk show or something. For that one, it was, I don't remember, but like the flying circus stuff is really funny. I don't know if you get to see those. Like I saw the one one of the ones I remember the most is Ministry of Funny Walks. Or is it funny or silly? I think it's probably silly. Yeah, those like those movies and like Mel Brooks, like if you haven't seen those are like you have to see Mel Brooks movies. Those are the best. Like Young Frankenstein will always be one of my favorites. But like Life of Brian was really funny. What was the other ones? Meaning Life was good. It wasn't one of the best, but it was still funny. Knights of the Rounds are like, I mean, not Knights of the Round. The Holy Grail was the Grail. This is one of the ones that's probably quoted the most for a good reason. It's really hilarious. Looking back, I don't think we made it to that in that class. I don't think we made it to the Castle Anthrax joke, but there would have been a lot of fast forwarding there, I bet, if we did. Yeah. There were some funny jokes in it, though. Like the fat guy who exploded. That was kind of... I mean, it was gross funny. And, well, there was a few other things. But see, it's just not as memorable as, like, all the really hilarious stuff. Like, I mean, there's that immortal knight in Grail that just... All right, we'll call it a draw. So good. Looks down in his stumps. All right, we'll call it a draw. Yeah. Same thing happened with me, and I remember I had this music class once, and we saw Amadeus, and there's that scene where he's chasing the girl around the couch, and she's like, "We're gonna go past this," and I'm like, "Oh, come on." It's like he's a musician, he's a rock star. What did you expect? It is funny that the Simpsons, when they were telling the story of him, used that, and then Lisa even points out and is like, "Actually, that's not. That's just the Hollywood version of it. In real life, they weren't. The two of them didn't have that relationship at all. They actually respected each other." Yeah, there hasn't been that kind of humor in Hollywood, has there? Since then, it's kind of like it seems like that was just like writers like that are just a rare breed. Because like here, like I was saying, Mel Brooks is just someone that like no one's. I don't think anyone's come close to that since then in comedy here. Which isn't to say there aren't good movies. It's just that they're just different now. The comedy's done differently. Oh no. That's great. Yeah, we just had to read that. We didn't get the chance. Did we read that one? I'm trying to think. Maybe I don't think we even read that. I think. But to be honest, I think like a lot of those kind of went out of my head because I think the worst thing to do to is like a kid's interest in reading is make them do it for school. It's like the minute I had to do it for school, it was horrible. When I went off and did it on my own, I loved it. Like, and that kind of happened with my brother too. Like he read all the Harry Potter books outside of school, and like he enjoyed them that way. But I'm sure he wouldn't have if he had to read them for class, because that would have been it's no fun when you have to do something for as work. Oops. I'm just gonna leave this and get a reference for it because I'm just goofing around with it. In fact, I think I'll just draw him later. I'm probably gonna redraw him. Do they ever show like his influences? Because I was always curious about that. I know that there's a few different writers a few different poets I believe he studied and influenced his work. And some people say he copied, but I think it was just that era's version of him being inspired by them. But I forget who it was, because there was someone who made a story that was kind of like Romeo and Juliet, because I hear that Romeo and Juliet's kind of based off of like 3 different short stories or something like that. But I mean, that's not stealing. I mean, my art's inspired by movies and TV shows. That doesn't mean that I didn't copy them. Quiet phone. My phone's telling me it's time. My phone's like, if you want a healthy night's sleep, you should go to bed now. And I'm like, nah. Not listening to you, phone. I think I'm going to dull down this pink a little bit because it's a little too bright. Just put a nice light layer of, yeah, shadow in it so that it's not so overwhelming. I do like that pink though, it looks nice. That's true too. That actually, I forgot about that. Huh. Yeah, but didn't Doctor Who meet him, so doesn't that make it true? No, I'm just kidding. I did love that episode of Doctor Who where he met Van Gogh. Yeah, I love the Tenant stuff. I just kind of, honestly, I don't think I've ever disliked the show that much, or I can't say I would have never have would say I would dislike any one, but I kind of just fell out of watching it, is how it happened. Like I try and explain that to people I work with who just watch TV and stuff, and I'm like, well, when you have a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel and you're working on a comic, it's kind of hard to do anything else. I treat myself once in a while, but it's like it's just different, you know. You don't. Plus, you don't watch things the same way. Oops, this is a confusing brush. I don't like that one. Like I used to just for fun be nitpicky about things, and now I'm just like, I don't have time. I just want to have fun. Someone will be like, but what about this thing in this movie? And I'm like, it was a good movie. I don't care. Because I think the last, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. The older gentleman who played, I'm trying to think of his, the actor who played Doctor Who after Matt Smith. He was really good, but he's the last one I saw. Is it Capaldi? I think that was his name. He was good. I mean, I knew he was good because he was already in an episode with Matt Smith as a in the, was it the Pompeii? Or it was something like that, yeah. Or Spark. No, it's Pompeii. Yeah, he was. Yeah, Peter Capaldi. Yeah, he's great. And the writers for that show are just so good. It's always nice when a show has multiple, I mean, where you can tell that a show has multiple writers. Where like certain sections have they all have just very different feels, but they're all interesting in different ways. Like you have your like writers that do more of the like the monster of the week kind of thing, and then you have your writers that are more of the lore episodes and yes, that's right. Yeah. I don't think I made it to the third season of Torchwood. Not because it wasn't good, but because my heart couldn't take it. Like, every time I watch an episode of that show, I'm just like, oh, good. More depression. It's so sad. They go through so much. It's kind of like it's not as bad as Attack on Titan, at least. Where every time I watched Attack on Titan, I just had to be like, well, this could be the last time I see this character for a while, or at all. Like I kept being like, "Don't kill Levi! Don't kill Levi! Don't kill Levi!" I still haven't seen the last season of that show, but I think he makes it. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I believe he makes it through, but I don't want to jinx it for when I do see it. It's always the character you want to live the most. It's where they're like, yeah, we know you love this character, so we're gonna break your heart. Like with when the way that some of the characters left the show. I was like, no. Just being careful because I never know who's. Well, I mean, it's just like, well, Amy Pond. I'll just say that because she's, and it's not a spoiler that she left. I just won't say how, but I was just like, oh no. And then I talked to someone else, and they're like, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm like, but I don't want her. I wanted her to stay. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like, yeah, for sure. I think one of the episodes that gave me the most creeps was it's actually a Matt Smith episode. It's the one where they meet that alien kid who can project people into his imagination or into, I forget how it worked. Anyways, they were trapped in a dollhouse and they were being chased around by wooden dolls, and that creeped the bejesus out of me. I am not a fan of not a fan of those kind of dolls. Like, I grew up with an older sister, so like Barbies and that kind of stuff would never, being just left on the floor and stuff, never fazed me. But it's when you go back to those those older dolls, that I'm like, nope. Burn their house down. like if I walked into the Annabelle house, I'd just be like, well, we're gone. It's like, just take me now. Yeah. But then I'd be scared of them. I mean, I guess Chucky kind of tried. Well, no, they didn't, because that was still that like one of those older like kind of dolls. So. It would definitely take a lot because Toy Story made me like that character, like with the her character in the fourth one, like, oh no, that was Bo Peep. Sorry, that wasn't the Barbie, but the Barbie character in the third one, actually, that was funny. I did like that. That was really good. Barbie and Ken, that was in that movie. So good. I guess that one movie, what was that, with the AI girl, like a robot that was I forget what that was called, but it was like it was this girl robot that was like turned into evil. And it came out like a few years ago. No, but that one was creepy. That was so creepy. The end of that just oh. I feel like that could have all been avoided though if that one guy had just been honest with him. Because it feels like I mean I know it was part of the experiment, but if he had been like, you're like when he should have been paying more attention to her messing with him, and been like, you're a person, right? Because otherwise it's like that would have changed the ending a lot. He's like, she's just messing with you, man. Like they want out. Don't listen to them. Megan was what I was talking about, though. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, numbers. Yeah, like Finn Forstick for the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan in it, which is such a shame that he. I wish he's really good in everything else I've seen, in a lot of things I've seen him in. But that was just he had all those actors had. I just didn't like that movie. I never saw it, actually. I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I wasn't enticed to see it, is what I should say. Because, meh. Doesn't help that Fantastic Four have not had the best Hollywood history. It's like, let's make it so that Doctor Strange is the same as them, and I'm like, but he's not. I don't even read the comics, and I know that. After knowing his story more, I kind of wish they would just do his story, where he was trying to save his mother, and then things kind of just went pear-shaped. Yep, Fan Four Stick. You're right. Yeah, I heard some really weird choices that they didn't even get to put in the movie. That thankfully didn't. But like, it just feels like Hollywood kind of just got their hands on that and kind of just went a little too crazy. With just how like Hollywood-esque it had to be. Because it's always those people who are in the meetings who are just like, no one who doesn't read the comics isn't gonna like this. Like, but dude, it's the actors will fix that. Oh well, thanks for your spending time with me. I really appreciate getting the chat, and thanks for the view. Yeah, it was so nice about both of you to drop by. Probably gonna call it pretty soon anyway. It's getting. This has been a fun one. Like I didn't think this would be this. I was just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try and go back and do some of the art challenges, because I felt I kind of just stopped doing it for a little bit, and then I saw what today's prompt was, and I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. Thanks. Yeah, you too. A good one. Yeah, I don't really watch much like scary movies. Generally avoid them. Like if it's monster based, sometimes I'll watch it, but other than that, I don't like that. Soul music, no. What's that one about? Whoops! Whoa! 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 Actually, this might look cool for her. For this, maybe if I can just get it right. No, that doesn't look right for that. Maybe in there. Yeah, like that. That's better. And then like down here. Here, I gotta clean up this hand a little bit. Oops. Oops. I should like this. Fix that. I'll be right back. Get some water. Need something other than soda in me. Okay, I got it. Cool. Yeah, and some leftover, I forgot. There it is. Yay. Oh! I haven't read all of it. I still need to go through some of those books. I'm way behind on those. I've read Color of Magic and Guards. in most of Going Postal, I think it was called, or something like that. Yeah, I think I know it. I might know possibly who was involved in the animation, maybe, because they did a couple things. I know they made a game for one of. They even made a point and click adventure game based on one of his game. I think actually it was Color Magic that they made an adventure game based off of, which was a surprise. I'm like, wow, I never heard of it until someone told me. Hogfather was a fun movie. What was the name of the villain? Mr. Tea Time, right? Or something like that. The assassin that was being sent by the Bureau. I think his name, he was this, yeah, he was like Mr. Tea Time or something weird like that. Because like they always, like him and Neil Gaiman come up with the funnest names for their characters. Like sometimes it's very ordinary, but sometimes it's just like so like bizarre it's fun. Like one of my favorite Neil Gaiman stories is Neverwhere with Door. She's such a cool character. And Richard Mayhew, Dick. Yeah, he just kept elongating his name, and then at the end he's just like, fine, just call me Dick. Diatimi. Really? Huh. Cool. I'm learning so much today. They must say that in the book, because I think maybe they it's been a while since I've seen the movie too, so maybe he did say it that way. Maybe someone else, I think someone else said it, tea time, and then he probably corrected them and I forgot that part. I also love Death in those storylines. He's so funny. Yes, his granddaughter, right? Because it's oh my gosh. Ah, okay. Oh, cool. Interesting. I've been meaning to read Mort as well. I hear that's a good one. Where he talks about his assistant who shows up in Hogfather. But I just love Death where he's just like in Hogfather when he's talking to there's that one coachman who's like who gets killed by the assassin, and he's just like he's like, oh man, my boss is gonna kill me. He's like, I have good news and bad news for you. And he looks down at his body and he's like, yeah, sorry, but we gotta go. He's like, okay. one of the more pleasant representations of death. The best possible one being from the Sandman series, because she's nice about it. Like, she... Or maybe... Like, I suppose the ones from... If you see them, the ones from Supernatural aren't that bad. Because they pretty much just take you and they're not mean to you. They are a little spooky, though, I suppose. Yeah, it's so good. Just get work on her hand, and I think that would be good. Thankfully, I have reference for this, so I can. I kind of drew it fast, but I do actually have reference. I'm just gonna find a line there. Yep. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was nice. I like the voice the actor they got playing him too. Can't remember who that was, but it was the voice was really good. Definitely worked with the humor. His hand. Actually, this nickel goes up here. There we go. It's better. Oops. Have you read any of Gaiman's stuff? Like, because he did a book with Terry Pratchett, which has been made into a TV show. The Good Omens. Which I still haven't seen all. I started watching, but I kind of fell out of. But I like both. Both those actors are good, so I'll probably go back to it, but because it's Tennant and. Oh, okay. Nice. I think one actor who surprised me with what he was in was when I found out that Christopher Lee was did several he helped his. I think it was one of his friends. I think maybe he was Canadian. I forget, but he had a metal band and he did the music for them. Like he would do, like he would help them out with the music. Like they really liked his voice. He has that great voice for like just like that specific tone, and like it works really good with metal. Like when you're talking about like ancient deities and that kind of stuff. So, and he did like a metal version of Little Drummer Boy. Yes. Yeah, I have several of the songs on my playlist because yeah, he's those are really fun. And didn't he meet the man that was actually based on James Bond or something like that? I believe that was part of his story. Is that, I mean, he himself had a pretty crazy time in World War II. But I think he actually did meet that guy too. A little bit. This is kind of me what I do later on is go back and clean it up a little. This. I forgot how I think I probably heard an interview with him, and that's how I found out about it, or either him or like probably or one of the other cast members on Lord of the Rings brought it up, and I had to go check it out. Because obviously like one of the oh gosh, I forget. I'm bad with names tonight. But the one who one of them two of them have a podcast now, and one of them's been on like they've been on different shows like Lost and stuff, and he I think he brought that up again in theirs too, like about his past with music. Yeah. Also, I heard that the way he dies at the end of in the extended movie, he actually asked them. He wanted them to put that in because that's his. It was kind of like a nod to his old B movie films of like the vampire film he was in, which I think was a Dracula movie, but I think it might have been something else. But it was he did one of those, so he's like he kind of wanted to put a nod in of that. But it's funny that he had to tell Peter that. Another funny story from the Lord of the Rings set was that John Howe, the artist that did the concept work for it. He came on set, but and I know this because I have his art book. But apparently, when he packed his clothes for the trip, he forgot to pack most of his clothes because he was more interested in bringing as many medieval things as he could. Yeah, it's a friendship onion. That's right. Yeah, it ended at the end of last year. It was really good, though. I definitely recommend. It's still fun to go through those old ones because they talk to a bunch of really fun actors, and like hearing them talk to the cast again is really great. And like I think they I can't remember. They got to talk to the majority of them. I don't think they got to talk to all of them, but they did get to talk to a lot of them. Like some of them, unfortunately, are just too busy. Like I think, yeah, there's just a few they talked to a couple times. Oh, nice! I just read the second part of that. Yeah, Billy Boyd. Yeah. If yeah, I've been fortunate through the COVID. I'm very grateful because my sister had negative reactions to the vaccines and to the first one. Like it made her like it can make you a bit ill, and that it did that. And same with my sister-in-law. It kind of it bothered her too. So yeah, I'm very grateful that it didn't do anything to me. I think I was yeah. I think I thought maybe it made me tired, but I'm like I'm also was starting to draw a lot more, so I'm like I could just be tired from that. So it was hard to tell. That was back when I was doing even more of the monthly challenges, and I was just like, now I'm kind of trying to control. Now that I have the all these channels, I'm like, I'll do them here and there. But like I tried to do some of June Toon and Kai June, and here I'll show you what I came up with. They came out. Some of them came out really good, like this. Here's one of them. This is for the first prompt of Kaijun Seed. I made a Leshy that's like a giant, kind of inspired by like Princess Mononoke kind of style, where it's like really big and huge. And it was using these they're called sandbox trees apparently. I didn't even know about them until I got sucked into one of those like 10 plants that are deadly to walk near or something, and this is one of them because its fruit explodes. Yeah, and it sends seeds in all directions. So I'm like, wouldn't that be cool if there was this guardian spirit of a forest that kept the forest alive by just launching these fruits that it grows on its back. So yeah, it came out. I'm really happy with the coloring and how it came out. And then for Kaijun, for Junetoon, I started to do some stuff, and I was having lots of fun. Like I did I didn't quite finish this one, but it got pretty far. I'd say it's pretty close. It's like 90% there, but I like it for Carmen Sandiego. for and what was the other one? I think I started to do Rocky, which I thought was funny to do this because like Sokka, his first guess for who King Boomy was Rocky. So Kind of just did like a rough version of him. I might go back and finish this. Because he's a fun character. I mean, he's a great character to draw. He's just so well designed. And then... Was there another? Oh, right. For Fire, I did, I changed... Yes, Boomy. Yes, Boomy's the best. Andrew Wheeler, Wheeler from Captain Planet. I changed his outfit. So he's like got a firefighter outfit on and a gas mask and like goggles. Because I'm like, he's just a kid with a ring that makes fire. How does he not melt? So I'm like, let's put him in some gear that makes it so he doesn't burn up. So yeah, like, who owns him? Bandai. If they ever want someone to redesign him, call me. But yeah, no, that Bloomy's. I love all the Avatar characters. Like, I've read some of the comics, but like I read I finally went back and read that one about the Search, which is really good. I definitely recommend that one. Cause it was just a really cool to see them finally get answers on Zuko's mom, like that whole storyline. But yeah, because like it is a sad story. I don't want to spoil it because I definitely recommend, even if you go to like a bookstore. Yeah. Well, see, that's the funny thing, and I've had this conversation. They never really bring it up, but technically, the other one, which was Kaji, I think was his name, the young Indian boy. I'd say he technically has the strongest ring of them all, because his ring can manipulate emotions. So he's kind of like the Purple Man from from Jessica Jones. Like if he wanted to be, he could be that. He could just walk around and be like, "You do this, you do that." Oh, and this dog hates you now. Sorry. Oh, and this is something fun I was doing. For a little while, I was working on some dinosaurs that were mixed with fantasy creatures, and this is one that made it into my the comic that I'm writing. Because Grace is actually trying to save this creature and its baby. Because it's a T-Rex, so you'll have to check this out. It's gonna take forever to load. Come on, 500 layers later. I think I have too many. There we go. Thank you. Or not. It's almost there. Yeah, exactly. He would just be like, "You really don't want to do this." Well, I think an accountant could stop most of those bad guys, because all they'd have to do is have someone with half common sense walk up to them with an Excel spreadsheet of how much money they're spending polluting, and be like, "You guys know this is not even a good reason to pollute, right?" Like, usually people do it as a side effect of like cutting corners to make money, but they're losing lots of money to pollute. Yeah, this thing. It's a Leshy mixed with a T-Rex. Unfortunately, its baby doesn't look like it's been affected yet by the combination, but like, yeah, I kind of based it more on, I know this is about right. I wanted to make sure it looked bulky, because the newer versions of yes, Even the Joker in Harley Quinn is scared of the IRS. Or no, that was in no, that was in the original Batman the animated show, where he's like, I'll take on Batman any day, but I'm not a crazy person. I'm not gonna fight the IRS. See, it took down Capone. It can take down Joker. But yeah, this was fun to design. It was I mean, any excuse to draw dinosaurs is always a, which is pretty much why I made that one character who the necromancer character be obsessed with the like creatures, prehistoric creatures. It was an excuse to learn how to draw the skeletons, and just, I mean, it's just like the past was like such a different place. Like, these creatures are just so different from anything today. Until I guess you like come face to face with a you make the mistake of making a swan angry at you or something, I guess, and then you realize, oh, okay, I see where the parallel between dinosaurs and birds is. Thank you. Yeah. Or in my case, it's we have geese near my house, and yeah, you don't mess with geese. They will ruin your day. We're just visitors there. They own the place. And then you got the bird, the real like dinosaur birds that still live, like the what is that? The blue-billed stork, and like emus and harpy eagles, which are huge. Oh, in the in that other one, yeah, where'd that one go? Yeah, the Celtiphurs. Oh yeah, and I forgot I have all these things popping up. This is like, that's actually a character from that girl with the spear. She's a character from the comic too. She's this bounty hunter, and I'm gonna make her character sheet this week, I think. So, was gonna do it tonight, but then I had so much fun with this that I'm like, like I'd never thought it. Might have to fix some of her perspective, but I'm really liking the overall theme of this. Is just really fun. Especially I didn't think I would like putting that spirit in the background, but like I think she just really fits now. I can't imagine it without her now. Oh, you know, it'd be really cool. I think I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna make her eyes have a purple glow to them, maybe, to show the influence of her. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, emus. It doesn't sound like something that you'd run from. Same with same with cassowary. Like you hear that word cassowary, you're like, okay, what's that? And then you're like, it's a bird, and it's like, can't be that big. About that. Yeah, it is. They are dinosaurs, and they're very angry. Or secretary birds, which don't sound scary, and then you see how they hunt, and you're like, oh, okay. And the funny thing is, the first time I think I actually did see one before this, but what was, because I've seen them like in certain shows too. Like oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it right now. But do you remember that show that with the little red panda, and she sings metal? She works in an office. Because there's her friend. This is a secretary bird, and she does the walk, and that's pretty close to how they stomp their food. So. This is pretty funny. Oh, I bet. I know Roadrunners are American, but I don't know. Maybe they are too. They might be an American bird too. I'm not sure. Or maybe South America. South America, maybe. I forget. But they basically do a stomp dance. So. Oh, the show. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was on America Netflix. I'm not sure if it was I don't know if. I think that was one that unfortunately you guys didn't get, which stinks. It was fun. And I'm blanking on it right now, but it was a good show. I think it actually. Well, it had a full story. It was one of those kind of shows where it wasn't super long, but at least it went through a full story, and it had like a movie too, and. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call it a night. But thank you so much for spending time and talking to me. It really helps with. It's so much more fun, and I really appreciate the two of you both giving me a rate at the same day. That was awesome. So I'll definitely have to. Maybe someday I'll be able to do the same back. But it was really nice having someone to talk to throughout this. So I hope you have a great night. Same here, yeah. Oh no, it's 10. It's not 3 here. What am I saying? It's 10:40, but still, it's been 3 hours. It's been over 3 hours of streaming, so my brain is going to start shutting down soon if I don't take a little break. It was really nice to meet you too. Thanks for dropping by, and have a great night and get some good sleep. Take care.